Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Vafa here. Another guitar lesson for you. This one's going to be all about rhythm guitar playing and power chords. So the reason I made this lesson for you is because power chords are kind of like the fundamental building block of metal, or not just metal, rhythm guitar playing in general for any type of music. So anyway, if you haven't seen my previous lessons, please go check those out. All these lessons are going to build on top of each other, so if you haven't seen my previous lessons, this one won't make any sense. And if you haven't already, check out my website. It's redisshredder.com. I've got a disclaimer section there so you understand what to expect and what not to expect from these lessons. And finally, I've got a lot of tabs there, so make sure that you go check it out if you want to try out any of these lessons or any of the exercises. And also, I tune all my strings down one whole step, so I'm in D standard tuning, but I actually will refer to all the notes and chords as if I was in standard tuning, so don't get confused. And also keep in mind that a lot of the stuff I'm going to be talking to you about doesn't apply if you're playing in drop tuning. So if you play drop tuning, you got to kind of adjust a lot of the shapes and stuff that I'll be showing you. Alright, so you should probably practice forming power chords in different shapes and with different fingers. And if you don't know how to form a power chord, if you don't know how to make one, you should check out my chords lesson. If you don't know what root notes are and fifths and inverting chords, that'll definitely help you. So anyway, there's common ways to play it. A lot of people like to use their index finger for the lowest notes, and then their ring finger or their pinky finger, or they want to do a 3-note power chord. Sometimes people use both. You can do 3-note power chords with just your ring finger or just your pinky by using some barring. So that's an option too. I personally prefer to use my pinky just because I feel like it's more comfortable, it's more natural, and it's just a little bit easier. And I don't really like to use the 3-note power chords very much, only rarely. The reason I don't like to use them very much is just because it actually will slow you down because you have to use so many fingers. So I like to just do 2-note power chords with my index finger and my pinky. But anyway, when it comes to playing open power chords, and what I mean by open power chords is like E and A power chords, anything with an open low string, I like to fret those ones with my index finger or my middle finger. You probably wouldn't want to use your ring finger or your pinky because you'd get this and you'd have all these fingers just sitting here, and that's really inefficient and kind of weird. And there's a couple of tips and tricks I can show you in just a minute too. Alright, as I mentioned before, about the inverted power chords, what you can do is invert them, instead of just playing the root and the fifth and another root, what you can do is just play the fifth and root. So instead of doing this, you can just take out this low note and just get this. That's just a different way of playing a power chord. You can add notes too. So let's say you are playing the same power chord, you can add another fifth down here. And then another thing you can do is you can add notes the other way if you're able to. So let's say you're playing a power chord here, you can add some lower notes. So you get this. So I added this low B note. So anyway, those are kind of different versions of power chord, inverting power chords. And a lot of bands use them a lot of times. So I'll just show you a quick example. So you can compare these two examples. The first one I'll show you just regular power chords. The second example I'll show you with inverted power chords. They're the same power chords, the same kind of notes, but they just sound different because you're playing, high notes or low notes. So there's an example. And then with the inverted ones. 2 minutes to midnight, Iron Maiden. To midnight. Okay, so now I'll show you that trick I was talking about. What you can do if you're playing like a low or an open power chord, like an E power chord, A power chord, you want to switch to one that's not open, like let's say an F. You want to go from E to F, you can do this. You can play the E power chord with your middle finger and then just smash onto that F power chord with your whatever fingers you usually play with. So it's just like this. So it's just kind of a nice little quick advantage. You can do the same thing with if you're playing an E power chord and you want to go to a G. So you would play the E power chord this time with your index finger instead of your middle finger. But you would play the G power chord with your middle finger and pinky. So if we just watch this. just a little shortcut. Another shortcut I've seen Dave Mustaine talk about in one of his guitar lessons is to play a power chord with your index finger and ringer finger, and then play another one with your middle finger and pinky. So it'll look like this. That one I think is a little bit more limited in its usefulness. I think he used it in the song like Devil's Island or something. Maybe it'll be useful for you. I don't know. I've never found a lot of uses for it. I mean, maybe it'll be really useful if you're playing in Megadeth or something. If you're Dave Mustaine. Okay, so the next thing is going to be about switching between power chords. In this particular one, we're going to be talking about switching between power chords that are played on different strings but on the same frets. So an example would be like an E to an A power chord, or an F to a B flat, an F sharp to a B, something like that. So I'll just show you that real quick. So that's just E to A, and then you can do it back. And then same thing, F to B flat. So one thing you can do is, it's just like a little trick for doing that one, for doing F to B, or any of the ones that are fretted. If you play power chords the same way I do, using your index finger and pinky, what you can do is use your ring finger to just hammer that on, and you'll be able to switch between those really quickly. So let's say you're starting with the F and you want to go to let's say you're starting with the B flat and you want to go to F. What you can do is just play the B flat with your index and pinky, and then just hammer on using your ring finger, and then you just basically barely slide up your index finger to get that F chord in there. And what you'll do is you'll get a 3-note F power chord. So you can see that now I'm doing a 3-note power chord, and I'm using my ring finger. And then if you want to switch back down, what you can do is just lift up just your ring finger. And then what you get is you get a B flat power chord with an extra low note, that extra low F note. That's one of the inversions I showed you earlier. So that's just a little trick. The next set of tricks I'll show you, the next set of exercises you can do, is kind of do something similar, switching from power chords on different strings, but this time we'll move one of the power chords up or down one fret. So let's say an example would be like F to B this time instead of B flat. And then same thing if you want to go the other way, let's say B flat to F sharp. So those are just some exercises to help you limber up your fingers a little bit and play a little bit faster. The main thing with those exercises, though, is that they're intentionally very, very simple enough that anyone could pick up a guitar and play it. So the point is not, to be able to say, yes, I can play those 2 power chords. The point is you should be able to practice them, playing them cleanly and really quickly, and you should be able to switch between them really sharp, very instantaneously. The reason that you should be able to do that is because that's what's going to separate a novice guitar player from an advanced guitar player, is, attention to these tiny little details. Any novice guitar player can pick up a guitar and just play 2 power chords, but it's the advanced player that can play them and make them sound really clean and make them sound like they have no noise in between, or any kind of weird extraneous kind of stuff in between there, or before or after, anything like that. Alright, you guys, well, thanks for watching my guitar lesson. I hope that helped you out with power chords a little bit. I know it was kind of boring. Not much to talk about when you're doing power chords. They're just 2 notes, actually. So anyway, the next lesson is going to be a little bit more interesting. It's about picking, and it's going to be more rhythm guitar playing stuff. So anyway, hang in there, and if you've made it this far, once again, give yourself a pat on the back. Congratulations, and thanks for sticking with me for this long. I hope I've been able to help you out a little bit, but there's a lot more to come. We're just going to go up from here, so it's going to get pretty advanced. Alright, you guys, and hopefully you'll watch the next guitar lesson. Okay, thanks for watching. Peace.